Welcome to Biff's Mystery Theater. I have many tales to tell you. Ghost stories, murder stories, and tales that will make your bones chill. Join me, won't you? For Theater of the Mind, where you always have the best seat in the house. Now close your eyes and turn off the lights.
Box 13, with the star of Paramount Pictures, Alan Ladd as Dan Holliday.
Box 13, care of Star Times. I don't know quite how to begin this letter except to say that it may sound fantastic to you, perhaps even a joke. But please believe me, I am serious, and the situation is serious. A man is dying, yet he has nothing wrong with him. He believes he's going to die 5 days from now, and so Bart LaFay is dying. A strong, healthy man is dying because of witchcraft. I know this sounds incongruous, anachronistic.
In this 20th century. But if you will come to Valoo, Louisiana, you will see for yourself and perhaps be able to help. Sincerely, Doris Gordon. Sure, I laughed when I sat down to read Miss Gordon's letter. But the laugh stopped in Valoo, Louisiana.
And now, back to Box 13 and Dan Holliday's newest adventure, Death is a Doll.
But, Mr. Holliday, you don't believe this, do you?
Susie, as my old grandfather used to say, there's no such thing as a sure bet or a sure loser.
I don't get it.
Well, to quote the time-worn passage from Shakespeare, there are stranger things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamed of in your philosophy.
Who's Horatio?
That's beside the point.
But, Mr. Holliday, she says witchcraft. Now, that's just, it's imposterous.
Atta girl, Susie, you never let me down. You had to hunt for it, but you found the wrong pronunciation.
That's beside the point.
Yeah, it could be. But something tells me that Valoo, Louisiana offers interesting possibilities. Before I took off for Louisiana, I went to the Star Times and did a little research. You know, it's surprising what a person can find out about things he thought went out with the oil lamps, horse cars, and witch trials. But look at the bustle. Everybody thought it was dead. But now look. Well, just look. Anyway, what I learned made me change my mind a little about that letter from Doris Gordon, who met me at the station at Valoo. 5 minutes after I got off of the train, we were driving along a dusty back road in her little car.
I didn't think you'd come, Mr. Holliday.
Well, I never refuse a chance to get mixed up in something that sounds different.
Or insane?
Well, what's the difference? Automobiles and radios were different when they came along. Before that, they were insane.
But this is different. We're in the 20th century. Salem and the witch hunts are history.
History? Well, to bat a cliche into center field, history repeats itself.
I know. Oh, by the way, no one must know why you're here, Mr. Holliday.
Yes? Why not?
Because these people are fine and honest, but they're liable to resent a stranger.
Oh, so what happens?
I want you to pretend to be my cousin.
Glad to. But won't they know you haven't got a cousin?
No, I teach school here. I've been here only 6 months. No one knows much about my personal life. They've come to trust me and like me, I think. And they'll accept you because of it.
Fair enough.
Now, I board with the LaFays.
LaFay? Oh, your letter mentioned a Bart LaFay.
Yes. He's the youngest son.
And he's dying, so you said.
Yes. In 1 month, he's become almost a dead man.
Why? What did the doctor say?
He said there's nothing wrong with Bart.
But there has to be.
That's what I told myself. I told it to Bart. But Mr. Holliday, he knows he's going to die because someone has told him.
Who? Who told him?
I don't know who started it, but now everyone in Baloo knows it. It's been like a snowball. Building, building, building.
You're in love with Bart?
Yes, I am.
All right, but, well, I don't see what I can do to help.
You've got to. It was only by chance that I saw your advertisement in the Star-Times, a newspaper published in a city hundreds of miles from here. Remember? Adventure wanted. Will go any place, do anything. Write Box 13. I had to write to you.
Just a minute, Miss Gordon. Let me ask you one question.
What?
Have you gone to the authorities? The sheriff, for example?
Of course I have.
And?
Mr. Holliday, the law can't help when you're fighting something you can't see.
So I was taken into the LaFay home as Doris Gordon's cousin. There was something about the house, an aura of fear that hung over it like a deadly pall. Bart's mother, his father, and his 2 older brothers seemed to have accepted the fact that Bart would die. Die when he said, in 2 days. That night, Doris arranged for me to be alone with Bart in his room. The house was located near the edge of one of the big bayous, and somewhere outside in the night, the strange, eerie animal sound seeped through into the room where I sat with the sick man. How do you feel, Bart?
Not fit, Mr. Holliday.
Oh, now look here, Bart. The doctor says there's nothing wrong with you.
Ain't nothing he knows. Ain't nothing he can know.
Now, look, a man just doesn't die without something being the matter.
I got just 2 days now.
Oh, Bart, that's nonsense. Now, snap out of it.
You just don't believe it, do you, mister?
No, I don't.
And why don't you ask down in the village? Ask anybody.
About what?
About what's happening to me. People seen it happen before, and there ain't nothing nobody can do. Ain't nobody can help. There ain't nothing...
Doris! Doris, get some water.
Oh, we can't swallow when he's like this.
No. Here, Bart. Come on, sit up. Sit up. Let yourself breathe.
It's getting worse. It's like somebody tightened a rope around my neck. And soon it'll get so tight I can't breathe no more.
Bart, you mustn't say that.
Ain't nobody can help. Nobody.
Doris,
What, Dan?
where's the doctor?
In the village?
I'm going there. You stay here with Bart.
All right, take the car.
There's only one doctor?
Yes, Dr. Brennan.
All right. Now, don't leave Bart. I'll be back soon.
I'm sorry, Holliday, but there's nothing I can tell you. There's nothing wrong with Bart LaFay.
You're sure of it?
Look, anything that drags a man down from 200-odd pounds to 150, I'd know about. Maybe I'm just a village
Oh, I didn't mean it
doctor,
that
but-
way, Dr. Brennan, but as you say, a man can't lose over 50 pounds and look as Bart does without a cause.
I know that as well as you do.
Yes, well, better than I do. So let's be honest with each other.
Honest? What do you mean?
Because you're a doctor and because you're rational, logical, and reasonable, you won't let yourself accept the only explanation of Bart's illness.
I can't listen to any such nonsense, Holliday.
Is Bart's condition nonsense?
You're supposed to be an intelligent man.
Yes, and so are you.
Because I am, I won't think about it.
You've never seen it happen before,
No.
but you've heard about it.
Anybody who lives among people who believe in it has heard about it.
All right. Now, Doctor, let's say what we're thinking.
I'm not thinking anything.
Bart LaFay is dying because he's the victim of witchcraft.
You don't believe that.
If you mean witches, charms, potions, and that stuff, no. I'm as hard-headed as you are. But Bart believes it.
Why, it's ridiculous.
To you and me, yes. Maybe a hypochondriac is, too. But to him, his imagined illnesses are real. You don't laugh at him and send him away, do you?
Why, of course not.
And I'll tell you why not. You know his illness is in his mind, so you play along, comfort him. Because if you didn't, you know he'd become worse, simply because he'd think he was.
Well, all right. Supposing you're right about Bart. What can we do about it?
You've told him there's nothing really wrong.
100 times. There's nothing else I can do.
But I might be able to help.
How?
Find out who started this thing and why it continues. If we destroy the cause, Bart will get well.
Do you expect me to help?
Won't you?
Halliday, I'm a doctor, a physician, a member of the association. If I poked around in something like that, what effect do you think it'd have on my reputation?
Yes, I see your point. And it's up to me alone.
I'll help you, up to a point. Beyond that, well, it's all yours.
Fair enough. Now I've got to talk with the people here.
You won't get very far.
Why not?
Because not one of them will say anything or lift a finger.
Because they're scared too?
That's it.
Doctor, Bart LaFay has only tomorrow and the next day to live. Unless I can lick this. And I'm going to try. I left Dr. Brennan and went back to the LaFay place. I had to talk to Doris alone, and later in the darkness outside...
Dan, it's too fantastic, too weird.
Now listen to me, Doris. I did a lot of reading before I came down here. Know what I found out?
No, what?
In the last 10 years, there have been over 100 cases of so-called witchcraft. As recently as 1939, a man on trial for murder claimed self-defense on the grounds that the person he killed had charmed him, hexed him.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But look in the newspaper files.
This is the 20th century.
It could be the 120th, Doris. And still, people will believe what they want to believe.
Do you believe it?
No. No, there's no power on earth that can kill like that. The only power lies in the victim's mind, in his will to believe.
And Bart?
Believes it so strongly that he's dying.
He can't die. He just mustn't.
Look, who started this? There had to be someone that planted that suggestion in his mind.
No one. There isn't a person in the village, in this whole parish, who doesn't like Bart.
But there has to be, Doris.
It must be some horrible, malicious joke.
The joke would have been called off before this.
Then I don't know.
If I'd go into the village tomorrow, what would I learn from the people?
Probably nothing. No one will come near here. I have to drive in for supplies every day. Bart! That was Bart!
Come on. Doris and I ran into the house. The LaFays were standing near the door of Bart's room, staring at the closed door. Terror in their faces. I ran past them. Bart! Bart! Doris, get the lamp, hurry.
Here. Oh, Bart! Bart!
He's all right. He just fainted.
But why? Why?
Here's your answer.
What's that?
Doris, shut the door. Keep the rest of the family out of here.
Wait out there, please.
Blow out that lamp.
But...
Blow it out.
What are you looking at? Is there somebody in the clearing outside?
No. No, not a soul. I didn't expect to see anyone.
You didn't expect?
Look. This charm that made Bart scream was tossed in through this window, Doris. And nothing supernatural or magical about it. It was a human being who tossed it in.
But why?
To let Bart know he has only 2 more days to live.
And now back to Death is a Doll, another Box 13 adventure with Alan Ladd as Dan Holliday.
It wasn't pretty, that charm. The way it was made with feathers and leather and bits of bone gave me a cold chill. I stuck it in my pocket and then took it out again. It was silly, but I didn't want the filthy little thing near me. Bart came to. We made him comfortable, and I spent the rest of the night sitting by his bed. Then, the next morning, Saturday, Doris drove me into the village. While she did some errands, I went into the general store.
Morning, mister.
Oh, good morning.
Can I do something for you?
Well,
Stranger here, ain't you?
Yes, I just came in yesterday afternoon. I'm Miss Gordon's cousin.
Oh, sure. Fine girl, Miss Gordon.
Yes, she is.
Boys, this here's Miss Gordon's kin. Cousin. Them's Ed Masters,
Hello, how are you?
John Latouche,
How do you do?
Tuck Wilson,
Hi.
and the rest of them.
Hiya.
Staying in Value a spell, Mr.
Name's Dan.
Just call me Pop. Everybody else does, though Tuck here's about 10 years ahead of me.
Oh, okay, Pop.
As I was asking, staying long?
Well, I don't know.
Vacation?
Sort of.
Oh, staying here at the hotel?
No.
Oh, renting the old Gerard cabin, huh? Folks do for vacations.
No, I'm staying with the LaFays. Well, I must have said something wrong.
That's one mighty good way to clear the store. Just mention LaFays.
Aren't the LaFays liked?
They was.
Was.
You come in here to buy something, mister?
No,
Well, then I gotta get busy. I gotta get some stock put away.
Oh, now, just a minute, Pop.
Huh? Want something?
I want to know something. Maybe you can tell me.
Depends. I don't know much.
I'll make it worth your while.
You can put away your money, mister. If and I wanted to make talk, I wouldn't take no pay for it.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
You ain't staying long with the LaFays, are you?
I don't know.
You better know.
Listen, Bart LaFay's dying.
Is he?
You know he is.
He's been ailing, not been fitting.
Pop, who's doing it to him?
I ain't got no idea what you're talking about.
I think you have. You can't stand by and see a man die like that.
Sooner or later, we all got it.
Pop, if you can tell me anything
I
that...
ain't no use of asking me. But effing you want advice, mister, don't stay no more at the LaFays. I gotta get back to work.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Pop. Well, it was useless to try that anymore. I went outside and stood there for a moment. Then I glanced back at the store, and staring out at me from a window was the face of a girl, about 18. And if ever a face showed fear, there it was. Before I could move, she pulled back and away. Outside in the street, little groups of people stared at me, and when I looked back at them, they walked out of sight. Farther down the street, I saw Doris, and she was talking with a big, husky fellow, and I walked toward them.
Dan, what did you find out?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, I knew it. Oh, Dan, this is Didge Lawson, Bart's best friend. Didge, this is Dan Holliday, my cousin.
How are you, Didge?
Fitting? Them yellow livers was scared, huh?
Looked like it.
Look here, mister. I ain't scared. If you want any help, I'll give it to you.
Thanks, Didge. But can you help?
Maybe. I've got an idea.
An idea, Didge? About what?
Look here. Someplace out in the bayou is what's killing Bart.
In the bayou?
Yeah. I know that there bayou like the back of my own hand. Some funny things can go on out there, mister.
Like what?
I see the doll once, hanging from a tree, dressed up like a man it was, dressed up like Bill Dakin. Ain't long after that, Bill took sick, but then he died.
You saw that, Didge? Why didn't you do something?
Me? I ain't gonna touch nothing like that. Them it touches is they get sick and die.
You think that's what's happening to Bart? Is that it, Didge?
Maybe.
I see. Well, thanks for offering to help.
That ain't nothing.
We'd better be getting back now, Dan.
Huh? Oh, yes, sure.
Glad to have met you, Dan. See you, yeah?
Yeah, I'll see you later.
Bye, Didge.
Bye.
Doris,
Yes?
how good a friend is Didge to Bart?
Why, they grew up together.
And would he tell us if he knew who was doing this to Bart?
Oh, I'm sure he would.
Then we have someone to help us.
But I think he's really afraid, too.
He'd never admit it.
Do you think he'll be able to help?
That depends.
But what he said about that doll and Bill Dakin, did you believe it?
Yes, I did, because it's happened before.
Dan, you can't mean it. You can't mean it, because it's impossible.
So is the fact that Bart's dying with nothing wrong with him. But he is.
Then how can we stop it, Dan?
Well, I don't know yet. But we've got to find out today. Tomorrow may be too late. Let's get back to Bart. When we got back to Bart, I tried to get him to tell me who had told him he was doomed to die. But he wouldn't say. Bart had one more day to live unless we could find the evil thing that was preying on his mind. It was later that night, close to midnight. I couldn't sleep. I was lying on the cot when I heard a noise at my window. Who's that? Who is it? What the...
Shh. Don't talk loud, mister.
Who are you?
My name's Melissa. Please, mister, I gotta tell you something. If you want to help Bart...
Wait, I'll come right out.
No, you just gotta listen. I heard you talking in the store to my pop. You want to know about Bart.
What do you know? Come on, tell me.
Didge put the death on Bart.
Didge?
When he finds out I told you, he'd kill me.
He won't do anything of the kind, Melissa. Now, what do you know about this?
Everything was all right till she come here.
She? Miss Gordon?
Her. Didge got smitten with her.
Oh, now, Melissa, we'll fix all that up. But you've got to tell me what you know, quickly.
When Bart took sick, I knowed it was something Didge had done. I followed him out to the bayou.
And?
5 times I followed him to Grandma Juno's place out there.
Grandma Juno? Who is she?
A witch.
Melissa, there's no such thing as a witch.
She is.
All right, let it go. What else do you know?
Didge gone out there again tonight.
Tonight? How do you know?
I saw him taking his boat out of the shack. Mister, he's gone out there tonight to see Grandma Juno. This'll be the last time. They'll twist the thread around Bart's neck, and tomorrow he'll be dead.
Melissa, can you take me out there?
Me? No, I ain't going no more. I ain't. I'll take sick and die.
Wait right there. You and I are going into town.
What for?
Never mind, just wait there. I awakened Doris, told her what was happening, and took her car, and Melissa and I drove into the village. Later, she, Dr. Brennan, and I went out to the edge of the bayou, and...
If a word of what I'm doing gets around, I'll be done for.
You've got to help, Doctor.
All right. Melissa?
What?
You sure that you can lead us to Grandma Juno's in the dark?
I think maybe so.
Well, come on, we're wasting time. Get in the boat, Doctor.
Okay. And for this, I got an MD degree. Chasing around in the black of midnight after a witch.
Ready?
I am. Go straight ahead until we come to the turn. Then go left.
Oh, good. Ready, Doctor?
I gotta be.
All right. Now, no lights. And be as quiet as you can. Let's go. Maybe I'll live to be 100. Maybe I won't. But I'll never forget that midnight boat ride. All around us, the huge cypress trees jutted up in the moonless sky. The drooping Spanish moss brushed our faces, and it was too dark to see a foot in front. But Melissa, she knew what she was doing and where she was going. Once or twice, a dark shape in the water bumped against our rowboat and slithered away. Then...
It's right up ahead.
I can't see a thing.
Melissa, you're sure?
I know it.
You can believe her, Dan. These people know their way around these bayous with their eyes closed.
Shh. Look.
That's a lantern up ahead.
There's Didge's boat.
Stop rowing, Doctor. Easy.
I'm going to take sick and die. I'm going to take sick and die.
No, you're not, Melissa.
Look.
Good heaven.
Up ahead, on a little island in the light of an old lantern, were Didge and an old woman. Didge was sitting on a log watching while the old woman crooned over a doll. Crooned over it and wrapped a string tightly around its grotesque neck. Silently, slowly, we got closer until we could hear her words.
Breathe and gasp. Breathe and gasp your last, my son. Tighter on your throat. The devil's hand is clutching.
Melissa!
That does it. Who's that?
Get away!
Come on, Doctor.
He'll shoot. He's got his gun.
They can't see us. Melissa, stay in the boat.
Stop where you are. Don't you come no closer. If you do, I'll...
Kill him, Didge! Duck him!
Holiday, his gun. Don't let him get it.
Curse to you, the devil's death! Didge!
Pick up that gun, Doctor.
You get it for this, mister. You get it.
Now give me that doll.
No!
Give it to me, I said.
Look out, Dan. She'll knife you.
No, she won't. That's better. Now, let's get back to Bart, Doctor.
What about Didge?
He seems to like it out here. We'll let him enjoy it a while longer. Keep his gun.
Here, let me see that doll. Why, It looks like Bart LaFay.
Sure. It was Bart LaFay.
Huh?
Never mind now. Let's get back. You see, Bart? This doll, it can't harm you now. Things like this can never harm anyone. It's in your mind. Look, I'll unwrap the string from its throat. You'll be all right.
That thing was doing it to me?
No, your mind was doing it, Bart. That's all. You'll get better now.
But what about you?
What about me?
Grandma Juno will get you.
No, she won't. Bart, believe me, there's nothing in the world like this can hurt you. So I'll go back home, and the worst that can happen will be my own fault.
Sure. Where's Doris?
Oh, I'll send her in when I leave.
I can't thank you rightly, Dan.
Yes, you can. Just remember what I told you, Bart. No harm can ever come to you unless you bring it on yourself.
Gee, what a nasty-looking little doll.
It's not pretty.
And he actually believed this was killing him?
Well, he knows better now.
Do you feel all right?
Of course, why?
Well, I just hate to think of that terrible old woman sticking pins in you.
Oh, not a chance, not a chance. Now, let me sit down and look at the mail.
Oh, Mr. Holliday, what's the matter?
Oh, I felt as though something struck me.
Mr. Holliday,
Susie. Susie.
Oh, my knitting needles.
Yeah. Good night, Susie.
Next week, same time, through the courtesy of Paramount Pictures, Alan Ladd stars as Dan Holliday in Box 13. Box 13 is directed by Richard Sandville, and this adventure was written by Clark Robley. Original music is composed and conducted by Rudy Schrager. Part of Susie is played by Sylvia Picker. Production is supervised by Vern Karstensen. Box 13 is a Mayfair production from Hollywood. Watch for Alan Ladd in his latest Paramount picture. Box 13, with the star of Paramount Pictures, Alan Ladd as Dan Holliday.
Box 13, care of Star Times. 2 days ago, I saw your ad in the Star Times. I want you to do something for me. Find someone who I know is in this city. You see, I think the man I want you to help me locate will be killed unless I find him first. If you're free tomorrow evening, we can meet at the corner of Robertson.
We can meet at the corner of Robertson and 35th at 8 o'clock. Carry a top coat and your hat in your hand. I'll speak to you. Anxiously, Dorothy Simmons. Sure, it sounded like 100 other letters I get through Box 13. When the thing was over, I wished the mail carrier had taken a detour somewhere on his appointed rounds.
And now, back to Box 13 and Dan Holliday's newest adventure, 113.5.
Susie. Susie. Hey, Susie.
Huh? Oh, hello.
Hello. Susie, I've been here for an hour. My name is Holliday.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Holliday. I guess I was wool gathering.
Yes, I guess you were. Why are you staring so hard at that letter?
I'm studying it.
Why?
Well, I'm reading a book.
So?
The book says you can tell character from handwriting.
Oh. And what do you get from that letter from Dorothy Simmons?
Nothing.
Yeah, it must be a great book you're reading.
Oh, I don't understand it at all. but it's fun.
I'll come back later when we can clear this up. But I've got a great idea, Susie.
What?
You forget about the book until I get back. Then I'll tell you all about Dorothy Simmons. At 8 o'clock, I arrived at Robertson and 35th. At 8:03, a young woman, maybe 25 or 6, spoke to me. And at 8:15, we were sitting across from each other in a booth at a coffee shop. She was good-looking, smartly dressed, and talked smoothly and well. But underneath that calm exterior, something was happening.
I know he's somewhere in this city, Mr. Holliday. I've got to find him before someone else does.
Maybe you'd better tell me who this is we've got to find.
My brother.
Oh? Well, how do you know he's here?
I've traced him this far.
Heard from him at all?
No. He's running away from something. Or someone.
How do you know that?
Well, the last time I saw him, 3 months ago, he was frightened. He wouldn't tell me what was wrong. And then he disappeared.
Your letter said he might be killed.
He said that.
Well, any reason for saying it?
No. At least none that he told me.
Look, Miss Simmons, this city has a perfectly good missing persons bureau. An efficient setup to help people in your spot. Why not go to the police?
I can't.
All right, you can't. Reason?
I don't know what my brother's done.
Oh, I see.
I'm not sure he's done anything wrong, but... Well, he might have,
And if we find him?
What do you mean?
Well, if he's been a bad boy, it'll be out of my hands.
You'd turn him over to the police?
Well, of course.
You won't help me except under that condition.
Well, that's about it.
All right. I agree.
Fair enough. Now, where do we start looking?
I don't know.
Well, what's his name?
Dave. Dave Simmons.
Have you got a picture of him?
No.
That's great.
I can describe him.
Well, go ahead.
He's about 5'7". He has
Dorothy
dark
described
hair
her
and
brother
eyes.
to me, and as she talked, a man who'd been sitting a couple of booths away got up and came near us. At first, I didn't pay any attention to him.
I don't remember what
Then
time
it struck me as funny that he should be taking such a long time tying a shoelace. Wait a minute.
What's the matter?
Hold it. Having trouble?
Huh? Talking to me?
Yeah, I think so.
Got a knot in the lace.
Convenient place to get it.
Huh?
Oh, nothing. Are you finished now?
What's the idea? I can't stop to tie my shoelace?
I have no objections.
And what's the beef?
None, I guess.
What are you, wise guy?
Sorry.
Yeah, wise guy, that's what.
Was he listening?
If he'd have had his ear any closer, it would have been on my coffee. Did you ever see him before?
No. No, I'm sure I haven't.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Look, he's looking in the window.
Maybe he just likes us.
He must have heard me describe my brother.
Yeah, he couldn't miss. Okay, come on.
He's gone.
Uh-huh. You sure you've never seen him before?
Oh, I'm positive.
Well, must have been following you.
Following me?
Couldn't have been me because there was no reason for him to tail me.
But why should he be after me?
I don't know. Yet. Where are you staying?
Oh, the Wilmington Hotel.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cab! Hey, cab!
What are you going to do?
Put you in a cab and see that you're not followed.
Oh, but what about you?
Mr. Shoelace doesn't know it, but he gave us a lead. All right, get in.
When will I hear from you?
I'll get in touch.
Oh, no. I'll get in touch with you.
But why shouldn't I call you?
Please don't. Just let me call you tomorrow.
Okay. Here's my card.
Thank you.
It's all right. Wilmington Hotel, driver. I waited for a cab to follow the one Dorothy had taken. None did. Mr. Shoelace had dropped out of sight, at least until the next day. It was about 11 in the morning at my apartment when... Come in. Well, hello.
Hello.
I see you're wearing knotless shoelaces this morning.
Yeah. Mind if I sit down?
No, go right ahead.
Thanks.
I'll admit this is pleasant, but it can lose its charm. This visit, I mean.
Maybe you'd like me to get right to the point, Holiday.
There's merit in that suggestion.
Uh-huh. You wonder how I found you?
No, you tailed me last night.
Uh-huh.
Good job, I didn't see you.
No, nobody does unless I want them to.
Oh? Now, about the point you mentioned. Is it still lying around?
Holiday, I'll go 50-50 with you.
Oh, that's generous of you. 50-50 on what?
20 grand. Now, look. We both beat our brains out if we work alone. If we work together, we got a better chance.
That sounds reasonable. But if I knew what you were talking about, we could make more sense.
She didn't tell you?
Tell me what?
What are you trying to do? Play coy with me?
No, not at all. What should Dorothy Simmons have told me?
Who?
Dorothy Simmons. What a funny man I am.
Yeah, ain't you?
What's the big laugh?
She said that was her name.
That's right.
Suppose I told you she was lying.
All right. Suppose you tell me.
No, I think you're on the level with this.
All right, let's stop the funny business.
Nothing doing, Holiday. What you don't know won't hurt you.
And what about something I do know?
In that case, look me up here. Here's my card. I might come in handy.
Well, he left me sitting there holding his card. On it I read, R. Dakin, private investigator. The whole thing was beginning to look like a bride's first cake when... Hello?
Mr. Holliday,
Yes?
this is Dorothy Simmons.
Oh? Are you sure?
What did you say?
That name, Dorothy Simmons. You sure it's yours? Hello? Hello?
May I see you?
Well, I'd love it. Oh, I had a visitor.
Visitor? Who?
Our friend last night. Seems his name is Dakin, a private investigator.
Private investigator?
Yeah, that's right. Now, does he mean anything to you?
Can't we talk about it? I mean, not over the phone.
Okay, I'll come to the hotel.
No, I don't want anyone to know I'm here besides you. That man might follow you.
Oh. All right, you name the place.
Well, there's a drugstore down the street from the hotel. I'll meet you in there in half an hour.
Better make it an hour.
All right, an hour. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Whatever was going on, it was going in a circle with me riding the edge. But it looked interesting. A girl who said her name was Dorothy Simmons. A man who said her name wasn't Dorothy Simmons. A missing brother and a 50-50 cut in something that would bring $20,000. Yeah, it had possibilities. But before I went to meet Miss Simmons, I found out about Dakin from Lieutenant Kling. Dakin was a shady operator. He'd come within an ace of having his license taken away from him on more than one occasion. But he'd always managed to slip the noose and stay in business. Okay, this looked good. So an hour later, I was with Dorothy Simmons in the drugstore.
I don't know him. I've never even heard the name Dakin before.
All right. How about your own name?
It isn't Dorothy Simmons.
Well, what is it?
I can't tell you now. Please don't ask me why. When we find my brother, I'll tell you everything.
Meanwhile, I've got a ticket on a merry-go-round, and I get dizzy easily.
You said you'd help me.
Mm-hmm. But I can't fight a mist or hunt for someone in a city.
Dakin must know something about my brother, or he wouldn't have followed me. He must have thought I'd lead him to Dave.
Now, you've got something.
Please find out from Dakin what he knows.
I don't think Mr. Dakin is the type that dishes out information just like that.
Make him tell.
How? Use thumb screws or the Iron Maiden?
I've got to know why he's after my brother.
I'd like to know that myself. And why you won't tell me your real name. Oh, there are a lot of things I'd like to know.
Let's go to see Dakin. And if he tells us anything, I'll tell you anything you want to know.
All right. That's a deal. Come on. Looks like Mr. Dakin's not receiving.
Try the door.
It's open. Mr. Dakin isn't very private, is he? Dakin? Dakin?
Why are the shades drawn?
Mr. Dakin likes it dark, I guess. And...
What's the matter?
I think Mr. Dakin is all through investigating anything. Be quiet.
Dead. He's dead.
Yeah, he's shot.
Who killed him?
How do I know? Hand me that phone.
What are you going to do?
Phone the police?
No, you can't do that.
Look, Dakin's been murdered. I'll do a lot of things for adventure and excitement. But hiding a murder's not one of them.
But my brother, suppose he...
I told you twice. If your brother's...
Please don't call the police. Not yet, please.
I said hand me the phone. Come on, look out. Get out of the way.
All right. Here.
Well, that's better.
Operator.
Operator, get me the police. I want to report...
Operator, never mind. The call was a mistake.
And now, back to Box 13 and Dan Holliday's latest adventure, 113.5.
Whatever Dorothy Simmons used to hit me, it was a lot harder than my head, and something had to give way. So I did. When I opened my eyes, Lieutenant Kling was bending over me.
Well, it's nice to know you're still with us.
Yes, I wake up to the strangest things.
Uh-huh.
Hey, why are you here?
The operator reported a call from here. 2 minutes later, another tenant passed here and saw this lovely tableau. You always lie down and go to sleep with murdered men.
Always? Oh, what did she hit me with?
This great, big, nice, heavy paperweight. And who's she?
Dorothy Simmons.
I still ask, who's she?
Well, I told Kling the whole story, beginning to end. And when I'd finished, I realized how silly it sounded. He looked at me and...
Your name should be Alice.
This is no Wonderland, and... Did your boys turn this place upside down?
No. Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Check on Dorothy Simmons at the Wilmington Hotel. You heard her description. Now, Holliday. She hit you and ransacked this room, looking for something. What?
You know as much as I do.
That gives me a whole lot to go on.
As much as I had.
Oh.
Brilliant. Brilliant observation.
Yeah, and you're in a good spot to notice it, I don't think. Look, why don't you go to Tibet?
Can I go now? Home, Tibet?
Yeah, get.
Thanks. And when you find out about Dorothy Simmons, give me a ring, will you?
Yeah, sure. Now beat it.
I left the room and walked downstairs into the street. My head was still buzzing like a party line in a crowded neighborhood, but it was clear enough to let me see a big limousine that was parked just across and down the street from Dakin's office building. It hadn't been standing there when Dorothy and I went in to see Dakin. Besides, a face looked out at me from the rear window. Then the face vanished and the car drove away. Well, this was getting better. A limousine, complete with chauffeur. I caught the license number, jotted it down in my head in between a couple of aches, and went back home. Later at my office, I had Susie check on that license number.
I've got it for you, Mr. Holliday. The car belongs to a Mr. Josiah Kettering.
Huh? Are you sure?
Sure. Why?
I don't get it. Kettering's one of the richest men in the state, a recluse. Now, what connection does he have with Dorothy Simmons, Dakin, and...
Hello?
Susie, is Dan there?
Oh, sure. It's Lieutenant Kling, Mr. Holliday.
Yeah, hello?
Your head still on?
Barely. Why?
Then get this through it. There's no Miss Dorothy Simmons registered at the Wilmington.
Well, I told you that might not be her real name.
Look, I'm not finished. Nobody of that description is registered there. And before you ask me if I checked all the way through, the answer is yes. Your dream girl simply doesn't live there anymore. Or ever. Holiday, are you there?
I'm not much of any place right now.
Better stay where we can put a finger on you.
Mind if I go out on an errand meanwhile?
Where?
Have one of your boys follow me. Maybe I'll need a little company. So long.
Hey, there's no...
I can go on an errand for you, Mr. Holliday.
Oh, not this one, Susie. I'm going to see what Mr. Josiah Kettering has to offer.
Yes, sir?
Is Mr. Kettering in?
You have an appointment, sir.
Yes, tell him I've come from Mr. Dakin.
If you'll wait in the foyer, sir, I'll give Mr. Kettering your message, sir.
Butler disappeared down the hall, went into a room, and a few seconds later...
This way, if you please, sir.
Oh, thank you.
That will be all, Carl.
Very good, sir.
And close the door. Well, you sit down.
Thank you.
You said something about a Mr. Dakin.
Yes, you know him.
What do you want?
Well, did you know Dakin was murdered?
Mr. Dakin was the type of person who invariably ends up that way. Some people do, you know.
And some people do the killing.
That achieves a nice balance. But that's neither here nor there. What have you come to tell me?
Nothing.
What are you looking at?
Books. Quite a collection you've got in here.
Yes. Do you know books? Rare ones?
I don't have the money necessary to enjoy them as much as you do.
Meaning what, sir?
Nothing.
You said you came from Mr. Dakin. Have you anything to tell me?
I didn't answer the old man who sat there leaning forward. watching me like a bright but aged robin. I could swear he thought I had something. Something he wanted. I decided to play along, stall for what I could learn. His hands, yellow and thin, trembled, and then...
Well, answer me, man, answer me. Have you got it? Did you get it back?
No.
Don't, idiot, you incompetent fools. I paid you to get it back. I paid you. Now I want it. Bring it back to me, do you hear? Bring it back.
Well, I don't know where it is.
Then why did you come here?
Because Dakin was killed.
I don't care about Dakin or anything else but my book. It's gone, stolen. Look, I kept its place open. Bring it back to me, please. Get it back to me.
The old man walked to a bookcase. He ran his hands over the row of volumes. Then his fingers stopped at a vacant spot.
What do you
Turned
want?
back to me.
More money? I'll give it to you in cash.
Now, just a minute. Maybe you had better tell me the name of the book again.
You know. Dakin knew. Dante First Folio. Now, please get it back
Well, why
for me.
didn't you go to the police?
Eh? Police? Why did you say that? You're not one of Dakin's men. You're not, are you?
No.
You're all against me. Everyone's against me. Everyone wants my collection. Get out, get out, get out!
Who stole that book from you?
They stole it from me. They knew I couldn't go to the police. They knew. But I fooled them, didn't I? I hired Dakin But you're not Dakin. You're the police. You won't let me have it back. You won't let me have it back. I tell you. I want that book back.
Better take care of him, Carl.
Quiet, sir. He'll be all right, sir.
What do you know about this, Carl?
Nothing, sir.
Who stole that book from Mr. Kettering?
There was no book stolen, sir.
There was. A book Kettering couldn't let the police know about because it was in his possession illegally. Is that right?
Sir, these books are all he has.
Yes, I know. And how many of them are stolen from other collections?
Just the Dante First Folios.
Mm-hmm. The only one he couldn't go to the police about, so you hired Dakin to trace it.
Please, sir. This won't mean prison for him, will it? It mustn't, sir.
I don't know. Now, look, Carl, who stole it?
Well, there was a couple here. Mr. Kettering's secretary.
Girl?
Yes, sir.
What did she look like?
She was about 25 or 6, rather pretty. Knew a great deal about books, sir. Mr. Kettering had placed an ad for someone to do cataloging. She answered.
And she saw the Dante First Folio.
She must have at one time or another. Mr. Kettering kept this room locked, but of course...
That's enough. You said a couple. Was the other one a man?
Yes, a chauffeur. He and the girl were friendly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you'd better take care of Mr. Kettering.
You won't go to the police, sir. It would kill him.
I can't answer that. Just take care of him. I've got something else to do. Sure, Kling, it adds up. The girl and the chauffeur got away with the folio.
The girl being this, Dorothy Simmons.
Simmons, Smith, Brown. What's in the name? She and the chauffeur stole the folio. The girl knew Kettering wouldn't dare go to the police.
And why did she go to you?
Now, here's my guess. The chauffeur double-crossed her, ran out with the folio. She couldn't go to a reputable private detective agency, and she didn't want the chauffeur to catch sight of her.
So she picked you for the patsy, to find the guy. The guy she said was her brother.
And it's got to be it.
Okay, I'll buy it. But what about Dakin?
Either she or the chauffeur killed Dakin. The chauffeur because Dakin was on to him, or the girl because she didn't want to be trailed.
That makes sense. And Dakin was going to cross up the whole thing. Grab the folio for himself because he knew nobody could go to the police.
A nice merry-go-round with a double cross for a brass ring. And no free rides.
Okay, that's the setup. But where does it leave us?
Find the girl or the chauffeur.
Okay. But something tells me that's going to be tough.
And it was. For 5 days, the police dragged the city. It was dead end until Kling came to my office and...
The man answering the chauffeur's description was picked up about 200 miles from here in a cheap rooming house. He made a run for it, used his gun.
And?
He was killed.
And the folio?
He didn't have it, and he didn't sell it either.
Well, how do you figure that?
If he had, we'd have heard about it. And even if we hadn't, the guy wouldn't have been holed up in a joint like that. He'd have had dough.
Yeah, so where's the folio?
Girl?
The chauffeur must have hidden it.
You got any ideas?
No. What was found on him?
Just this. Slip of paper.
What's this?
You can read. It says 113.5.
113.5. This all there was on him?
That's all.
What's it mean?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Cling, someplace in this city is a folio worth $20,000. 2 men have been killed because of it.
Yeah. And all we've got is 113.5. Just those numbers.
Code?
That could be. It's beyond me.
Mm-hmm. Anyway...
Oh, hello, Mr. Holliday. Hello, Lieutenant Kling.
Hi, Susie.
Oh?
Gee, you're both looking sad.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Holliday, remember what I told you I was reading about handwriting?
Please, Susie,
Well...
not now, please.
Oh. What's that note?
113.5.
Huh?
1. Susie,
What's the matter?
what have you got there?
Books on handwriting.
Cling, look at those books. Look at them.
Huh? What's eating you? What about them?
Look at them. Just look at them. Cling, I know where that folio is. I was sure I was right, but I wanted to go it alone. Kling wanted both the folio and the girl, so I had to be alone just in case. And my destination? The public library. What better place to hide a book than there? I climbed the iron stairs to the stacks that towered over the main reading room. I read the index numbers on them. 111, 112, 113, decimal point. I reached out my hand for a little volume that stood between books that probably hadn't been taken out since the library was built.
Thank you, Mr. Holliday.
Oh, Miss Simmons, I believe.
I hoped you'd lead me to it. May I have it?
Good hiding place, isn't it? Way up here in the stacks, hidden between books that nobody'd ask for. But let's talk about you, Miss Simmons. You've changed. Hair a different color, dressed shabbily, dark glasses. No wonder you couldn't be found.
I'll take that folio, please.
I guess you would. After all, you killed Dakin to keep him from finding the chauffeur.
That's right. And I'll kill again. I'll kill again and again to get something that will mean the end of watching other people enjoy life. Hand it to me.
Miss Simmons, if you shoot, wouldn't the shot be heard? Wouldn't you have to explain?
Give it to me.
You have great patience. You followed me probably every day. Now, a little more patience won't hurt.
Stay away. Don't come any closer.
You want this, don't you?
Give it to me.
All right. But you will have to get it.
Don't drop it over. If you do, I'll kill you.
That wouldn't do any good, Miss Simmons. If I drop it over this rail, it'll drop 3 stories into the reading room below. Now, still want to shoot?
Please. Please, give it to me.
Put down that gun.
No.
Then shoot. But when you do, this book drops. There are about 50 people down there. Which one of them would you like to pick up $20,000? Take a look, Miss Simmons.
Let go of me! Let go!
Come on, Miss Simmons. And you'd better walk ahead of me. Somehow I wouldn't want you at my back on those steep, narrow stairs.
Afraid she would shoot, Mr. Holliday?
Oh, yes, Susie. But she knew if she did, I'd drop the book. And that gave me time to grab her.
Gee, and to think you discovered where the folio was because I brought library books here to the office.
Mm-hmm. See what reading will do for you, Susie?
Uh-huh. But I've given up those books on handwriting, Mr. Holliday.
Oh? Why?
Because I analyzed one sample of handwriting, and it said the person was loyal, kind, unselfish, generous.
And who is this paragon of virtue?
Miss Simmons.
Oh, good night, Susie.
Next week, same time, through the courtesy of Paramount Pictures, Alan Ladd stars as Dan Holliday in Box 13. Box 13 is directed by Richard Sandville. This week's original story was written by Arthur Boley. Original music is composed and conducted by Rudy Schrager. The part of Susie is played by Sylvia Picker, and that of Lieutenant Kling by Edmund MacDonald. Vern Karstensen is in charge of production. Box 13 is a Mayfair production from Hollywood. Watch for Alan Ladd in his latest Paramount picture. Box 13, with the star of Paramount Pictures, Alan Ladd as Dan Holliday.
That ought to do it. Take it out of the typewriter. Now address an envelope to Box 13, care of Star Times. You know, this Box 13 is made for us.
The letter was typewritten. There was no signature, and it read, "Enclosed is an invitation to the Garden Charity Bazaar at the Arthur Mannering Estate this coming Thursday. Use it, and maybe you'll get adventure. Anyway, take a chance. And wear a red carnation in your lapel." That was all. 4 lines. But, brother, what was in between the lines that I couldn't read then?
And now back to Box 13 and Dan Holliday's newest adventure, Dan and the Wonderful Lamp.
What kind of adventure could you find at a charity bazaar, Mr. Holliday?
That, Susie, is why the letter interests me.
Sounds dull.
Some of the dullest letters I get through Box 13 have led to some of the biggest headaches. But fun.
It was probably written by some huckster.
A what?
Huckster.
Uh-huh. That's what I thought you said.
I did.
I know you did.
Was it wrong?
Could it be right?
A huckster is a person who plays jokes.
Oh, could you have meant hoaxer?
You know what I meant.
Takes a little while, but I get there. And I think I'll go to the charity bazaar. So, the next day I went to the charity bazaar. The Mannering estate was huge. Why not? Arthur Mannering had $5,000 for every blade of grass in the place. And it was a big lawn. There were lots of people, lots of money, and lots of places to spend it. I wandered through wondering what the gimmick was, why I'd been asked, what the adventure was going to be. No one paid any attention to me. No one paid any attention to anyone. Then, after about a half hour of aimless meandering, I just happened to stick my hand in my jacket pocket and pulled out a note. It read, "Go to booth number 5, guess the number of beans in the jar as 1,862. That was all. Somebody had put that note in my pocket. Easy to do in that crowd. Well, the adventure that looked as though it wouldn't amount to anything was amounting to a jar of beans.
Hello there.
Oh, hello. This is booth number 5, isn't it?
That's right. Do you want to make a guess?
Yes, I think so.
It's $5 a guess. Make as many as you want.
$5 a guess?
It's for a good cause.
And if I guess right, I win the beans.
When it's all over, we'd be glad to give them to you. But you also win a prize.
All right, what do I do?
Here's a slip of paper. Just write your guess on it with your name.
Uh-huh. Now, let's see. Does 1,862 sound like a good number to you?
I don't know. Oh, excuse me. I've got another customer.
I wrote down the number with my name. Then I took a look at the others behind the booth counter. No one seemed very interested in me, and then...
Are you all finished?
Oh, yes, thanks. Do you take the slip now?
That's right, and thank you.
Oh, don't mention it. Oh, by the way, when do we find out the lucky number?
Oh, in about half an hour.
Okay, I can hardly wait. I waited. Another half hour, and during that time I paid $27.50 for a nickel fan, a nickel ice cream cone, and a 3-cent brass ring I won at the fish pond. Then...
Attention, everyone. Attention, please. We wish to announce the winner of the bean guessing contest. The winner is Mr. Dan Holliday. Mr. Dan Holliday. Will Mr. Holliday please come to booth 5 and pick up his prize? Thank you.
Well, I went and picked up my prize. Whatever I'd won, it was big and heavy, all neatly done up in fancy paper and big ribbons. So I'd come to a charity bazaar to win a prize for guessing the number of beans in a jar. A great adventure. Anyway, I took my prize package to my office instead of home.
Oh, Mr. Holliday. Gee, you're back early.
Uh-huh. I thought I'd drop in here on the way home.
What have you got there?
I don't know, but I want it.
How?
I guess there were 1,862 beans in a jar.
Oh, that's a funny number to guess.
I'll ride with you on that one. Well, let's see what I've got.
Okay. Gee, it's heavy.
Mm-hmm. What's that?
It's a lamp.
No self-respecting lamp ever looked like that.
It's horrible, but cute.
So for this, I spent $32.25, all expenses included.
The shade's kind of pretty.
If you like oddities, yes.
It's not bad.
Oh? Well, it's yours.
Mine?
Uh-huh, I don't want it.
But maybe you were supposed to win it.
Susie, I spent a dull afternoon and I came back with that. Somebody's ribbing me.
Oh, I bet that's it.
If I know whom to suspect, I'd send that lamp to him.
Did you mean it when you said I could have it?
Yes, I did. Susie, with my compliments, the ugliest lamp in the world. Now, I'll see you tomorrow.
Help me put it back in the box, will you?
That'd take a half hour. Take it home like that.
Well, I don't know about walking along the street with it.
Oh, I see what you mean. But it's your problem.
Oh, throw the box away outside, will you, Mr. Holliday? It's too big for the wastebasket, and there's a trash barrel right down the street.
Oh, sure. I'll see you tomorrow.
Goodbye. You know, it's not bad once you get used to it.
Yeah, well, that takes a while. So out I walked with the box under my arm. I threw the box in the back seat of my car, intending to get rid of it later. But I forgot and drove home with it. In fact, I carried it inside my apartment building. And when I reached my floor, threw the box down the incinerator chute in the hallway. And I wished now the lamp had been in it. It was midnight before I decided to get some sleep, and I was just dozing off when... Who was that?
Special delivery letter for you, Mr. Holliday.
Oh, okay, just a second.
Hey, sorry to get you up, Mr. Holliday.
Oh, that's all right.
Here's your letter. Sign here, please.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, sorry, I dropped the pencil.
Here it is. I'll get it. Rolled inside.
Go back to sleep, Mr. Holliday.
I woke up with the night clerk bending over me.
You all right, Mr. Holliday?
What happened?
Well, I don't know. I was checking your room and came by and saw you lying here in your doorway. You're sure you're all right? Do you want a doctor, sir?
No, thanks.
Here, I'll help you up. Dizzy?
I've been steadier on my feet before.
Hey, somebody went through your apartment.
From the looks of it, with a steam shovel.
Burglars.
Yeah.
I'm going to call the police.
No, wait a minute. Close the door.
But the police, Mr. Holliday.
Well, let's see if anything's missing.
Yes, sir. Well, there's your money. And your watch over on the night table next to the bed.
Mm-hmm. And that's all that's worth stealing in here.
Well, that's funny.
Is it?
Sure. You sure there's nothing missing, Mr. Holliday?
No, not a thing.
Well, gee,
Look, it's all right. You better get back downstairs. I'll call the police later.
Sure. Maybe you'll find something missing after a while.
Maybe. Thanks. I'll see you later.
Hello?
Susie, this is Holliday.
At this hour? What time is it?
Almost 1.
Oh, am I supposed to be at the office? Did I oversleep? Oh, but it's still dark outside.
Just listen, Susie. Have you got that lamp?
Lamp?
Lamp. The one I gave you.
Oh, sure, I've got it. Do you miss it?
Look, lock your door. Don't let anybody in until I get there.
You're coming here?
Right away.
Oh, but I'm not dressed.
You'll have 20 minutes to fix that. But remember what I said. Let no one in but me.
Gee, am I mixed up in something?
Susie, your guess is as good as mine. And mine's wild. But it looks good.
Mr. Holliday?
Did anyone see you take it out of the office?
No, I don't think so.
Then they thought I had it because I carried the empty box home.
What's all the fuss about that lamp?
I don't know. I wonder.
What do you wonder?
Have you got a screwdriver?
Screwdriver?
A screwdriver or a knife. Anything we can use to take that lamp apart.
Oh, sure. Take it apart?
Uh-huh.
I think I've got a screwdriver someplace. I remember using one to fix my wristwatch.
Oh, good. Let's have it.
Is this one?
That's good enough. Now, let's turn off the lamp and disconnect it.
Gee, I don't understand all this, but it's fun.
Yeah, there's a knot on my head that says you're wrong. While Susie watched, I took that lamp apart piece by piece, bit by bit. I even examined the shade, but...
It's just a lamp, Mr. Holliday.
Yeah, nothing inside the base, nothing in the sockets, nothing in the body. Nothing, period.
Did you expect to find something?
I was sent to that bazaar to get this lamp. I did. You ended up with it. But somebody thought so much of it that my head was tapped. Now, why?
Maybe. Gee, maybe.
Maybe what, Susie?
Maybe it's the lamp itself they wanted.
Susie, maybe you've got something there. But why? What's there about this lamp?
I don't know.
Look, the Mandarins are wealthy. Now, it stands to reason they've got a lot of valuable objects in their home.
And the lamp could be worth a lot of money.
We'll find out tomorrow.
You're gonna leave it here?
I have to, Susie. Meanwhile, don't let anyone in. Tomorrow, we'll see what's so wonderful about this lamp. Susie kept the lamp. I went home and thought about it. The more I did, the less I did. Then, the next morning, I picked up the lamp from Susie, took it to a dealer.
Yes, sir? Can I help you, sir?
Maybe. This lamp, I want your opinion on it.
Why?
What's it worth? How much would you give for it?
Well, if I were in a good humor, $2.
2?
2 1/4. But I'd have to be hysterical.
You're sure?
Positive. How much did you pay for it?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Please, take another look at it.
Must I?
As a favor.
All right. Well, I'd say it was the product of a factory that turns out about $2 million a year. It's nothing but plaster of Paris and cheap common glaze. The brass base and standard bring about 50 cents. Wiring's fairly good. And
well, that's enough. You've convinced me.
I hope you didn't think it was an antique, sir.
No, just a lamp.
Exactly. Do you want to sell it?
No, thank you. Thanks for your trouble.
Well, no trouble at all. Come in again, sir, without the lamp.
I was about to leave the store when I saw someone across the street. And if my eyes were good, and they are, it was the fake who got me up at midnight only to put me back to sleep. He'd followed me, and he was watching the store. He couldn't see me, so I turned back to the dealer.
Yes, sir? Something else, sir?
Do you want to buy this lamp?
Why?
I want to get rid of it.
That's an admirable ambition, but why to me?
It's yours at any price you want to pay.
When I said $2, that was a guess, you know. In fact, I don't want the lamp.
Oh, would you take it if I gave it to you?
I beg your pardon?
The lamp is yours. I don't want it.
Well, this is very peculiar.
Look, you pay me what you want, but take the lamp, huh?
$1.50.
Sold.
I don't know why I do these things.
Neither do I.
Well, there's your money.
Thanks. And good luck.
With that lamp, I'll need it. I can use the wire and the sockets, though.
I left the store. I paid no attention to the man who loitered across the street. I walked to my car, got in, and drove up the street and around the corner. Then I got out. I peeked around the corner and saw my man go into the shop. A minute later, he came out with the lamp, got in his car, and drove away. I hurried back to the shop.
Good morning, sir. Oh, you again.
The lamp.
Yeah, what about it?
You sold it.
Yes. Don't tell me you want it back.
Did you know the man who bought it?
Mister, anyone who buys a lamp like that, I don't ask questions. It's his.
For how much?
$10.
Oh, that was a quick profit.
Oh, I didn't set the price. He came in, looked around, saw the lamp, said $10 for it. I recovered my sanity and sold it to him.
And no questions asked?
None. Why?
Mister, you don't know it. But there are a million questions that could be asked, and I don't know one answer. Yet.
And now back to Dan and the Wonderful Lamp, another Box 13 adventure starring Alan Ladd as Dan Holliday.
So there it was. A lamp worth $2, a hit over the head, and a big, big puzzle. That same afternoon, I bought all the papers, took them to the office, and looked through them to see if there was a report of anything stolen from the Mannering place. Nothing. I left the office and was on my way down the street when...
Hello, Mr. Holliday.
Huh? Oh.
Right on walking, Mr. Holliday.
Oh. Got another special delivery letter for me?
An even better one this time. It all depends on you.
From the song of the same name.
I'm not amused. Let's go for a ride, huh?
On a nice day like this? Let's walk.
Save your energy. You'll need it.
I see what you mean. Nice gun you got there.
Yeah, nice car, too. It's right down the street.
How handy.
Yes.
You got the lamp, why take me too?
Because you go with it.
Going to wire me for electricity?
That could be. All right, get in. Okay, Max, you know where to go.
Well, Max is smarter than I am at the moment.
Uh-huh, but you'll get smarter. But I've got a hunch you'll get much smarter before I'm finished. All right, Mr. Holliday, sit down.
Oh, thanks. Nice room. Could use a little furniture.
This far out in the country? No, we don't need it. Besides, Max needs room to move around, understand?
I'm looking at Max? Yes.
He is big and rough.
Doesn't he speak?
I do the talking, and I'll start now. Holliday, you're smart, but you're not smart enough. Now, where is it?
Where's what?
Don't stall.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You picked up the lamp at the bazaar.
At your invitation.
That's right.
How did you know the number of beans that would be in that jar?
That doesn't matter. What does matter is I want to know what you did with it.
The lamp?
Not the lamp.
Then I don't know what you're talking about.
One more chance, Holliday. Where is it?
I said I don't know what you're talking about.
Look, you want a cut on it?
Cut? In what?
The diamond. Holliday, you hear me?
I don't know anything about it.
Where did you take that lamp last night? It wasn't in your apartment. Where'd you take it? Go ahead, Max.
Max came toward me. He got bigger and bigger as he did. He moved slowly, and while he did, I had to think. If I told that Susie had the lamp, they'd go to her, and I didn't like to think about that. Poor little Susie wouldn't know what they were talking about. And it seemed that things happened to people who didn't know what was what. I had to keep quiet. Max got to me and...
Well, how you feeling?
Oh.
Better? Had an accident, huh?
Where am I? I guess that's what everyone says in a case like this.
Found you lying in the road here, mister. Had a pretty bad accident from the look of you.
I don't like to think about that. Can you get me back to the city?
The hospital'd be better.
Never mind, I can still breathe, I think. I want to get back into the city.
Guess I can take you.
Good, I want to go to the Arthur Mannering estate, and quick. The farmer drove me into the city and to the Mannering estate. I had a hard time convincing the butler I had to see Mannering, but finally...
This is a fantastic story, Mr. Holliday.
Yes, I'll agree, but the man who had me beaten said something about your diamond.
Yes, the Mannering Blue.
Where is it?
Here, in the house.
You're sure?
Well, of course. Would you like to convince yourself?
I'd like nothing better.
Very well. But how about you? Don't you think we'd better see about your condition?
It'll keep, I hope. Now, the diamond.
Very well, this way. It's impossible that anyone could have taken it.
There were a lot of people here yesterday.
And an army of detectives, Mr. Holliday. No, I repeat, it would have been impossible for anyone to take the Mannering Blue from this safe.
You're sure?
Just a second, you can look for yourself.
That's it, huh?
That's the Mannering Blue, sir.
And this is the only diamond?
That's right, Mr. Holliday.
Then I give up.
It's very curious, sir. This business of your guessing the exact number of beans in that jar, and then...
Wait a minute. Who knew the number of beans that would be in that jar?
Why, the one who put them in, obviously.
A girl? Attractive, about 23 or 4?
Oh, I don't know about that, but... Wait a moment. You're not suspecting Carol Marshall, are you?
Was she the one in the booth?
Yes, but I'm sure she didn't know. Why, as a matter of fact, she took the place of my secretary at the last moment.
Secretary? Where is she?
Yesterday morning he asked to be excused. The bean guessing contest was his idea.
And the secretary? Big, tall,
Yes.
low, quiet voice?
Yes, that's scary. But the diamond's here.
Is it?
Well, of course.
Maybe it's not the Mannering Blue.
Substitute?
Why not? Your secretary, who gets himself excused yesterday morning, hasn't shown up yet.
No.
He has a paste diamond made up. But the problem is to get the real one out of here. He bided his time. The bazaar yesterday was a perfect setup. The real Mannering Blue is hidden in that lamp I won as a prize. You see, he and his confederates didn't want to take any chances. Your secretary didn't want to take the diamond off the estate himself. A million things could go wrong.
But the real diamond, it wasn't in that lamp, you say?
It had to be, but where I took it apart,
Eh? What were you about to say?
Look, you get in touch with the police. Here's my card. Keep in touch with me, too.
Yeah, but Mr. Holliday,
I've got work to do. Susie, think hard. You brought the lamp home here.
Yes.
What did you do then?
I put it on the table where you saw it.
Did anything fall out of it?
No, Mr. Holliday.
Think, Susie. Think. The diamond had to be in that lamp.
You took it apart, Mr. Holliday. There wasn't anything in it.
But there had to be. Or I wouldn't have taken the beating I did. Now think, Susie. Think.
Gee, I am. I brought it home, put it on the table, connected it, and turned it on.
And that's all.
Sure. I remember because one of the bulbs wouldn't burn.
One of the bulbs?
Yes. I changed it because it was burned out.
What did you do with the bulb?
Threw it away. Why?
Susie, 10-1, the diamond was in that bulb.
But how could anyone get a diamond in a bulb?
Don't you see? Take off the screw base. Take out the filament. Cement a diamond inside. Susie, where did you throw that bulb?
Oh, in the wastebasket. Right there.
But it's empty.
Sure. The cleaning woman always empties it in the morning.
Where does she empty it?
The trash barrel's downstairs, I guess.
Holy mackerel. A $50,000 diamond in a trash barrel. Come on. You say you emptied the stuff in the barrels?
That's right. All the stuff I empty in them barrels.
And then what happens?
Well, the stuff's taken away. They come and got it this morning.
Okay, Susie. I've got to trace the rubbish truck to the city dump. You stay here in the office. If the police call, tell them where I am, and tell them to hurry, because I've got a hunch I'll be followed. Well, it was like looking for a needle in a haystack. Except this was a diamond in a trash pile. And at the city dump.
Ain't gonna be easy, mister. But the trucks that come in this morning dumped over there.
Everything in the truck is dumped here, huh?
Yeah. You're lucky we ain't started burning yet. Come on over here.
This where you figure it might be?
It's gotta be. Morning trucks here, afternoon trucks over the other side.
I'm looking for a light globe. A bulb. Will you help me?
Sure. What are you looking for the bulb for?
Now, you won't believe this, but it's worth $50,000.
Are you... 50? What are we waiting for? Yeah, here's a bulb.
Break it.
Yeah, nothing but a bulb.
Wait a minute. Here's another one.
Nothing.
Come on, let's look for some more. We plowed through everything in that pile of rubbish. Knee-deep in trash, we dug and dug. Until a half hour and 100 light bulbs later.
Hey, look. Here's another one.
Let me have it. Thanks.
Holy mackerel, look at that.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Now, let's get out of here.
Hold it, Holiday!
Come on, fast.
Hey, they're shooting at us.
That's the general idea. Where can we get under cover?
There's an old dump truck there. To the left.
Come on, let's go. Duck down here. The metal sides of the truck will protect us.
Phew. Hey, mister, I thought this was a quiet job when I took
Holiday, come out of there!
No dice. The police will be here in a minute.
And you've got less time to live than you thought!
He's coming this way. Hey, you got a gun?
No, I never touch a thing. Keep down.
Holiday, one more chance. Throw that diamond out.
Them's police sirens.
Throw it out, Holiday!
We're going to hold out as long as you can. Longer. Well, I guess that does it. Scratch one secretary with a little too much ambition.
And I was mixed up in it, too, wasn't I, Mr. Holliday?
Susie, you don't know how close it was. Something funny?
I just thought of a gag.
All right. I'll sit through it. Go ahead.
Well, remember the story about Aladdin and the wonderful lamp and the Jimmy?
Genie. But what about it?
All he had to do was to rub it to get out of trouble. But you couldn't.
Yes. Where's the gag?
Well, you couldn't. And that's the rub. Don't you get it?
I got it, but I don't know what to do with it. Good night, Susie.
Next week, same time, through the courtesy of Paramount Pictures, Alan Ladd stars as Dan Holliday in Box 13. Box 13 is directed by Richard Sandville, with this week's adventure written by Theodore Henling. Original music is composed and conducted by Rudy Schrager. The part of Susie is played by Sylvia Picker, and production is supervised by Vern Karstensen. Box 13 is a Mayfair production from Hollywood. Watch for Alan Ladd in his latest Paramount picture. Box 13, with the star of Paramount Pictures, Alan Ladd as Dan Holliday.
Dear Mr. Box 13, care of newspaper Star Times, I am Nick Nerekios. For 20 years I own a restaurant and there is no trouble, and that is good. Now I got trouble and that is bad. One day I look through paper, I see Box 13, that you go any place, do anything you want adventure. All right, Mr. Box 13, you come to Nick's place, 2129 10th Street. You have no trouble finding because it is only Nick's place.
It is the only Nick's place in the neighborhood. Maybe you help Nick? Yes? Maybe I helped Nick, sure. At first I was laughing, and later I was laughing. But I was laughing with tears in my eyes.
And now, back to Box 13 and Dan Holliday's newest adventure, Tempest in a Casserole.
Nick, what's his last name, Mr. Holliday?
Nerekios.
Oh,
Doesn't seem like anything interesting could come of it, does it, Susie?
well, I think you ought to go and see him.
Why? I've had better letters than this, and you've thrown cold water on them.
His place is on 10th Street.
Keep going, Susie. What's your point?
Well, I thought you could do me a favor at the same time.
Uh-huh. What?
Look,
What's that?
I ordered an earthenware pot from Caldwell's department store on 10th Street, and look what they sent me.
It's cute. A little merry-go-round. A toy.
I know, but it isn't what I asked for.
What did you ask for?
I told them to send me a carousel.
You got it.
I didn't. I got this.
If you ordered a carousel, you...
I do not think this is very funny.
Susie, did you by any chance mean a casserole?
Oh, I guess I did.
The customer at Caldwell's is always right. You ordered a carousel, and a carousel you got.
Will you take it back for me?
No, sure. And even if Nick doesn't have anything interesting, I can do you a favor. So long, Susie. A half hour later, I was in Nick's place on 10th Street. A clean, neat restaurant that seemed to be doing a wonderful business. Every table was filled and the counter was loaded and crowded with people. I asked for Nick, and a waitress guided me to his office in the rear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can do you something, sir?
Well, the question is, what can I do for you?
What are you selling?
My services, free.
Oh, I'm sorry, I do not understand. Mr. 13, Mr. 13, I am so glad. Please, you sit down, please.
Oh, thanks. I have a name as well as a number, Nick. It's Dan Holliday.
Oh, good, Mr. Dan. My name, Alexander Nerekios.
Alexander? But I thought...
Oh, sure. My name, Alexander, but when I first come this country, everybody call me Nick. One name, she's good like any other. But that is not here or any place, yes?
Yes, I suppose not.
Mr. Dan, you see my restaurant, you come in, yes?
Yes, and you're doing a roaring business, Nick.
Like Shakespeare says, it's a rob.
What do you mean?
Oh, Mr. Dan, you look here. I open the door.
It's still crowded out there.
Yes, but each one have coffee, just coffee. They sit and read newspapers, books, anything, and they drink 1 cup of coffee.
Nothing else?
Nothing.
Oh, I see. And how long do they stay?
All day long. I am losing money, fist over hands.
Any enemies who might want that?
Enemies? No, I have no enemies, Mr. Dan. I like everybody like me. You ask all around. Everybody say, Nick Nerekios, good man.
Has anyone else ever wanted this spot?
Oh, sure. Lots of times people come, they want to sublease from me. I say no.
Has that happened recently?
Sure, only 2 days ago.
I think that's it, Nick. This is a good spot in between Caldwell's department store and a bank. You probably did a lot of business before the coffee drinkers moved in on you.
Yes, but now, my regular customer, they come past at noontime, they look in, they see all the business, they in a hurry, so they go someplace else. Oh, Mr. Dan, you help Nick, yes?
Sure. I'll tell you what, Nick. You put a sign on each table and on the counter. One that reads, minimum charge, 50 cents.
Oh, that is wonderful. That's magnificent, Mr. Dan. Yes, sure. I do that. Yeah.
Okay. Now I'll be running along.
Look, anytime you want, you come to Nick's place. You bring friends, all your friends. Nick cook personally for you. Anything you want. You do that, yes?
It's a deal.
Now you tell me something else.
What's that, Nick?
Why you do this? Why you put that ad in the paper?
Well, I write stories, Nick, and sometimes a letter leads me to a good one.
You don't take money?
No.
How you live?
By my stories. When I haven't got writer's cramp. Well, I've got to be going, Nick. Meanwhile, don't forget the signs on the tables and the counter. So, marking that little visit off to profit and loss, I went home. Then the next day at the office...
You forgot, didn't you?
Huh? Forgot what, Susie?
You didn't take my carousel back for a casserole.
Oh, I'm sorry, Susie. I put it in the back of my car and forgot all about it. I'll do it for you, though.
When, Mr. Holliday?
Maybe today.
All right. Hello?
Please, you let me talk to Mr. Holliday. I want to talk to Mr. Dan. Please,
I know,
hurry. I'm very important.
Wait a minute. I don't know who this is, Mr. Holliday.
Yeah, I'll take it. Hello?
Mr. Dan Holliday, I want to talk to Mr. Dan Holliday, the writer.
Well, this is Dan. Oh, Nick?
Yes, Nick. Oh, Mr. Dan, I am in trouble once more again.
What's the matter? My idea, didn't it work?
Oh, sure, fine. Work fine.
Then what's the matter?
My credit, it is ruined.
Your credit? Go slowly, Nick, and tell me all about it.
For years I buy on credit, same as big business. All the time I pay my bills sharp on the dash. Now, all of a sudden, no credit.
Sounds like someone fixed that for you.
What do I do now? No wholesaler send Nick food he need for business. I cannot open my restaurant. I am ruined.
Now, calm down a minute and listen to me.
I listen.
Did you make money last month?
Always I make money.
Well, have you got a bank account?
4 of them.
All right, then. Have one of your banks call the wholesalers with whom you do business. Just reestablish your credit. That's all.
That is all I do, Mr. Dan?
That's all.
What a wonderful man. Mr. Dan?
Yes?
You are not writer.
No?
No, you are genius. Goodbye.
Susie, I am now a genius.
Good, but is there a story in it?
Oh, you slave driver. What a wonderful guy.
Who, Nick? Why didn't you go down there then?
But you heard me handle it over the phone.
My casserole, Mr. Holliday.
Oh, all right. Later. Well, I'm glad we had that thing put in. It keeps me awake. I'll get it, Susie.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Mr. Den?
Yeah, Nick? You again?
Yeah, Mr. Den, the whole world is terrible.
Now what's the matter?
Nothing like has happened since Adam and Eve. The world is upside down, topsy-topsy.
Hold it a minute, Nick. You better start over again.
Oh, I will take back the drinkers of coffee. I will pay them to come back, but this is too much. Please, please, you come to me. Help me, Mr. Den.
All right, Nick, all right. I'll be there in a half hour. I hurried down to Nick's place, and before I could drive up in front, I knew something was wrong. The street was crowded with trucks and the drivers. The place was a bedlam. Horns tooting, drivers yelling at each other to get out of the way, and right in the center of it all, Nick. His hair was standing on end, his face was as white as a sheet, and his arms were flying around like a lunatic windmill. I parked in an alley a half a block away and walked toward Nick.
No, these are not mine. I did not order 10 radios and jig boxes. Now, look, you're Nick Nera. Are you Nick? I am Nick. I wish I was not Nick.
Hey, Nick, what's this all about?
Oh, Mr. Den, my friend. Look what has happened to Nick. Hey, mister, you know this guy, this Nick?
Yes, I do. What is all this, driver?
Yeah, just look at this bill here. It says deliver 10 radios and 3 jukeboxes to Nick's place. Now the guy says he don't order them.
No, I don't, Mr. Den.
Hey, pull that half the years out of the way. I gotta get in there.
Keep your ears in, wise guy. I'm hit first.
Oh, Mr. Den, my restaurant is filled with things I do not order. Look, all up the street, down the street, trucks.
Yeah, I see him, Nick.
2 pianos, 5 refrigerators, 19 beds. My customers are all gone. They are scared of the elephant.
Elephant? Oh, what do you mean?
Somebody send Nick an elephant. Oh, Mr. Den, please, about an elephant is nothing funny.
Okay, Nick. You go back into your restaurant. I'll take care of this for you.
Oh, you do this, Mr. Den. Nick is grateful.
Yeah, sure.
What would I do with an elephant?
Well, I did what I could. I convinced the truck drivers with the help of 5 cops that a mistake had been made. It took over an hour, but at last the tangle was unsnarled. Radios, refrigerators, jukeboxes, razor blades, pianos, beds, whatnots, and the elephant. Well, they were all sent back where they'd come from. Then I went in to see Nick.
Oh, Mr. Den, Nick does not know what to say. Nick is spokeless.
Sit down, Nick.
Oh, sure. You want some coffee?
Not right now, thanks. Look, Nick, you said someone had asked you to sublet your restaurant. What reason was given?
They say Nick does not know how to run a restaurant. They say they make a gold mine.
Yet you've been making a comfortable living.
Oh, in America, I am very happy. I come here a long time ago now.
Mm-hmm. All right, Nick, here's what you do. You sit tight.
Sit tight?
Stay right where you are. Don't sublet to anyone. Understand?
Oh, I never give up my place. Never.
That's the ticket. Whoever's doing this to you will have to give up sometime.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything else happens, you let me know, huh?
Sure. I call my good friend, Mr. Den.
Swell.
Why you think they do this to me, Mr. Den?
I don't know, Nick. But it'll be interesting to find out. I went back home, and the more I thought about Nick and the trouble he was having, the more curious I got. Why should anyone want a restaurant badly enough to go to all that trouble? Why? I was still wondering when... Hello?
Mr. Den? Is this Mr. Den?
Yes, who is this?
I am Mrs. Nick Nerakios.
Mrs. Narakios.
Yes. Mr. Den,
Mrs. Narakios, what's the matter?
It's about Nick, my poor Nick.
What about him?
He wants you to come to him.
Where?
Home. You come, please. Please come, please.
Right away. What's the address?
789 Borden Street. Please, you hurry, please. Something terrible has happened to my Nick.
to Tempest in a Casserole, another Box 13 adventure with Alan Ladd as Dan Holliday.
I hurried to Nick's home. Whatever had happened to him was enough to make his wife almost hysterical. She met me at the door, her face stained with tears. She led me through the clean little flat and...
Nick, here is Mr. Dan.
Oh, my friend.
Nick, what happened? Who did this to you?
Look what they do to my Nick. His poor eyes, his nose, my Nick.
Gina, you go out of room for a minute. Yes, I want to talk to Mr. Dan. Make some coffee, eh?
All right, Nick, all right. I make you some coffee.
Nick, how did this happen?
Tonight I leave my restaurant. Always I take the shortcut through the alley back of my place. I walk for a little bit and somebody hit me.
Did you see who it was?
No,
Did you go to the police?
No. I come home. I tell my wife to call you, Mr. Dan.
But you should have gone to the police.
Oh, but I am scared, Mr. Dan. I read in paper that men who do this will also maybe hurt my wife. I do not want that, Mr. Dan. I do not want that.
Nick, I want you to sublet your place.
Oh, no, I do not do that. I will send my wife away where she will be safe, but no, Nick, stay here, like you say, sit tight. I not give up.
You want me to help you, don't you?
Oh, sure.
Then listen to me and do as I say. Sublet your restaurant. Sublet it and we'll see what happens. After I left Nick, I went to see Lieutenant Kling. He listened to what I had to tell him, and...
But, Dan, he should have come to the police.
He was scared, Kling. Besides, what could he prove? The men who beat him up were hired by the person or persons who want Nick's place.
Why?
There's a bank next door, Kling.
I know that, but you're not thinking those guys will drill through the walls in that restaurant to get to the bank.
It's been done before.
Yeah, I know. So you told Nick to go ahead and sublet.
That's right. Look, Kling, here's the way I figured. They want Nick's place badly enough to commit mayhem. They counted on his being scared enough to keep him away from the police. But what they didn't know was that Nick had written to me asking me to help.
So? What's your idea?
Let them have the place. Let them do what they want. But watch that bank. Well, Nick sublet his place to the men who had been after it. And Kling and the police watched the bank. Special alarms were set in the walls. Night and day, the restaurant was watched. And what happened? Well, exactly what happened to Simple Simon's fish hook in the pail of water. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. One day, after a couple of weeks of this game of watch and wait, I was in my office.
Mr. Holliday.
What, Susie?
Did you ever look in the back seat of your car?
Back seat of my car? Why? Who's there?
Not who. What?
Well, what's this, 20 questions?
My carousel is still in the back seat of your car. It's been there for weeks now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Susie. I'm sorry. I hope I haven't held up your cooking.
If you'll give it to me, Mr. Holliday, I'll take it back and exchange it. I wouldn't want to put you to all that trouble.
No, Susie, don't be cross. I'll take it back today. I'm going to Nick's place anyway.
Promise?
Honest Injun and stuff.
Fine. Now I can make baked noodles sometimes.
Good enough. I'll go right now.
Oh, hello,
Lieutenant. Hello, if it isn't Lieutenant Kling. Come on in.
This isn't a social call. Look, Holliday, the department's pulling the men off the bank and the restaurant today.
But why?
Why? Because they needed someplace else. For 2 weeks we played Find the Gimmick because you had an idea. Now we're very tired.
But that's what those men might be waiting for.
Yeah, look, if they're going to make the pitch, they'd have made it. But they didn't.
There's no sign they won't.
Okay. So we know who they are in case they do. They wouldn't get 10 feet before we'd have them. Dan, we can't play anymore. Sorry.
Okay. But I'm sure they're playing some kind of a fast game.
Then you get in it. So long.
Maybe Kling was right. But then again, maybe I was right. I hadn't been in the restaurant since the last time with Nick. I wanted to keep out of the way in case I'd been spotted then. So I thought I'd drop in before going to the department store. A waiter came up to me.
Yeah? What'll it be, mister?
Where's your menu?
We ain't got any.
No menus?
Our customers can't read.
It's a funny way to run a restaurant.
Okay, it's funny, so laugh.
Well, what have you got to eat?
Hamburgers.
And?
Onions.
Nothing else?
Our customers ain't that hungry.
Okay, bring me a hamburger. No onions. And a cup of coffee.
Take a while if you don't want to wait and leave.
This was a great restaurant. Not like when Nick had it. I was the only customer, and from the waiter's attitude, the lack of business was understandable. What was going on? As I sat there, I heard a sound that puzzled me. I couldn't figure it. And as best as I could judge, it was coming from the kitchen right in back of me. I just couldn't place that sound, although I knew I'd heard it before, someplace. Then the waiter came back after a 15-minute wait.
Here you are, mister.
How about the coffee?
Be up in a minute.
Oh, just a second. You put onions on this.
No extra charge.
But I don't want onions. This is loaded with them.
Okay. Don't eat it then.
So I sat there and looked at the hamburger. It was fried hard, and the bread was well on its way to being toast by reason of age. And the waiter? Well, if he had ever waited tables before, I'd eat the hamburger, which I didn't. I never did get the coffee, but waiting for it gave me the chance to look around and think. That sound puzzled me, but I couldn't figure it any more than I could get the reason for the whole setup. But one thing was obvious. The management didn't care if any customers came in or not. So I left. I went next door to Caldwell's department store to exchange Susie's carousel for a casserole. And at the counter...
Yes, sir. May I help you?
Yes, please. I want this exchange.
Do you have your slip, sir?
It's with the carousel. You see, I'd like to get one of these casseroles in exchange.
For yourself, sir?
Does that make any difference?
Well, I thought you might have a color preference. We have them in earth brown, red, and green.
Green.
Green? Oh, yes, sir. I'm sorry. We're out of the green one.
Well, it really doesn't make any difference.
Well, how about the red?
That'll be fine.
Do you like to cook?
Not particularly.
Oh, many men do.
Well, this is not for me. It's,
I see. Let's see now. These are $1.95, and the exchange on the carousel is, let's see now. You owe me $1.87.
Here you are.
Out of 5, thank you, and I'll have your change in just a moment.
Hey, that sound.
I beg your pardon?
That sound. Now I know.
No what, sir?
The compressed air tube for sending slips and the money to the cashier. Oh, lady, I love you.
Really, sir? This is neither the time nor the place.
Where's the manager?
You have a complaint?
No, a hunch, and I'm going to play it. Where's the manager?
Well, the second floor. Office is in the rear of the building.
Thank you.
Your change, sir, and your casserole.
Don't worry, I'll be back. It was a hunch, all right. But I thought it was a good one. I called Kling, told him to get to the Caldwells right away, and to bring a certain something with him. And later in the manager's office.
But I don't understand, Mr. Holliday.
That makes 2 of us, Mr. Bardo. Holiday, what gives?
Mr. Bardo, has your store shown a loss for, say, the last 2 weeks?
Loss? Are you a stockholder?
No, but has it?
Well, then I hardly think...
Dan, get to the point. What are you doing? You call me here and tell me to bring a tear gas bomb. I think you've slipped your hinges.
Listen, let's all go down to the kitchenware department.
Kitchenware?
All right, any place in the store. I want to prove something.
Well, this is highly irregular, but since you've brought in the police, I must assume you're serious.
I assure you I am. Come on.
Conning? Miss Conning?
Yes, Mr. Bardo? Oh, it's you again.
Hello.
Miss Conning, this gentleman...
Mr. Bardo, I assure you I was courteous. Why, he told me he loved me.
What?
What's going on?
It was a figure of speech. Look, Mr. Bardo, please ask Miss Corning to do what I asked.
Really, this is ridiculous. However, Miss Corning...
Yes, Mr. Bardo?
Make out a sales slip for...
this frying pan. Here.
Yes, sir.
Now, here's a $10 bill. Send it along through the compressed air tube.
Shall I wrap the pan?
No, I don't think I'll want it. Just the slip, the money, and the change tube.
Go ahead, Miss Corning.
Yes, sir.
And what about the tear gas bomb, Dan?
Tear gas?
Miss Corning.
What about it, Dan?
Now, we'll see. All right, Miss Corning, send the slip and the $10 bill through the change tube. No, wait.
What now?
Mr. Bardo, call the cashier and tell her to expect this carrier.
If it weren't that the police, give me the house phone, Miss Corning. Thank you. Extension 490. Hello, Miss Roebling. This is Mr. Bardo. In just a moment, a carrier containing a sales slip for a frying pan and a $10 bill will come to you and... Mr. Holliday, why am I telling her this?
Just tell her to do the usual with it.
Oh, very well. Miss Roebling, handle the carrier as usual. Yes, thank you. All right, now what?
Send the carrier, Miss Corning.
Dan, will you tell me why I'm here? I'm on a perfectly good homicide case, and you drag me here to go through an idiotic...
I think you'll see. How long will this take, Mr. Barton?
Oh, a few seconds. The store isn't crowded. Business isn't good today, not at all.
Yeah, that goes for me, too.
There's a carrier. Open it, Miss Corning.
Yes, sir. Oh, the change is here, and your receipt for the frying pan.
You sure?
Of course, look at it.
Dan, you just bought yourself a frying pan. Now you should go home and bang your head with it. Or let me.
I don't get it. I thought I...
Oh, excuse me, that's my extension.
You thought you what, Dan?
Hello?
I thought I had a hunch about that.
Now, you've taken up a great deal of our time,
Mr. Bardo, the cashier phoned. She said she didn't get the carrier.
But that's impossible. There's the slip and the change.
I knew I had a hunch. Kling, let me have that tear gas bomb.
No, I give up. Here.
Mr. Holliday, what are you going to do?
Give me one of those carriers, Miss Corning. Thanks. Now, we'll put the bomb in the carrier. So. And gimmick it so that when the carrier's opened, the tear gas bomb will do its stuff. Okay. Send it along, Miss Corning.
Holliday, you crazy? The cashier opens that, she'll get...
She won't get it. Go ahead, Miss Corning. Send it on.
Mr. Bardo, should I?
Yes, send it. I'll warn the cashier by phone not to open it. Mark it with your checking pencil.
Good. Come on, Kling, I'll buy you a hamburger. Next door.
You think we made it?
Sure. Now just keep an eye on the front door of the hamburger place. Here they come. Grab him, Kling. Grab him.
Hey, what's the matter?
Ah, the waiter with tears in his eyes. I told you there were too many onions in that hamburger.
And those crooks were taking money like that?
That's right, Susie. They had tapped into the compressed air tubes which ran through the walls of the department store in Nick's place. Were helping themselves to some nice, easy cash.
They must have made a fortune.
No, not a fortune, but enough. You see, if they had grabbed every one of the carriers, it would have spoiled the game. The store would become suspicious.
Oh.
But they work each city for a month, and they move on to another spot.
What won't they think of next?
Who knows? Now, excuse me. I've got a date at Nick's for dinner.
Oh, Mr. Holliday. Why'd you get a red one?
Red what?
Casserole. I like green. So, as long as you're going down that way, will you exchange...
Oh, good night, Susie.
Next week, same time, through the courtesy of Paramount Pictures, Alan Ladd stars as Dan Holliday in Box 13. Box 13 is directed by Richard Sandville, and this week's original story was written by Robert M. Light. Original music is composed and conducted by Rudy Schrager. Part of Susie is played by Sylvia Picker, and that of Lieutenant Kling by Edmund MacDonald. Production is supervised by Vern Karstensen. Box 13 is a Mayfair production from Hollywood. Watch for Alan Ladd in his latest Paramount picture.